Hey guys, welcome to TST Garage. I'm Bart. In this episode, I'm working on the new 2026 and up Yamaha YZF-R7. In this video, we're going to tackle the installation of TST Industries frame sliders on this bike. These are vehicle specific. At the outset of this model, I've heard of many people buying the previous generation frame sliders for the bike and trying to put them on. And on the right side, there's interference between the fairing and a straight out approach of installation of a frame slider. So we developed a way to dodge the interference by mounting the puck of the frame slider further back on the bike via the use of a custom-made bracket system, adapter system, that will actually move the center of this puck further back, clearing the problem. What you see in front of me is the entire kit. The kit does come by default with black cages. These cages basically are just responsible for closing out the holes for the hardware. You don't want to see the hardware in there, right? It looks kind of goofy and unfinished. So we've developed these cages that have a nice expansion lock on them. Pop them in, turn them in, and they stay put. For those of you guys that want to customize the look of your frame slider, we do have different cages available. At the moment, these are available to me. We are currently making more. By the time you guys are watching this video, it's very likely that we will have a whole spectrum of colors of the different cages. Just wanted to show you here in the introduction what that will look like when you mount a different cage on here. So for this bike, we're gonna go with red. So it's gonna look roughly like this. And with the blue one, it'll look roughly like this. So you get the gist now of how the system works cosmetically. Let's take one of these pucks apart and tell you how we stack up against the competition. Frame sliders have been in existence for many, many years. They all pretty much take the form of solid Delrin or nylon puck that takes the brunt of the hit. It is made of a solid Delrin or nylon piece. It's meant to take the brunt of the impact. It absorbs some of the crash energy via either cracking or just expansion, acting like a spring. A spring will load up and then have to give back that energy. So we really wanted to approach this entire product set differently. That's how we do things at TST Industries. So what you see here are the cosmetic components, and here are the actual practical components. I'll stay away from talking about hardware. That's pretty standard across the board. We've developed a way to destructively alter the shape of one of the components that goes inside, called the crumple zone. And that deformation actually absorbs permanently some of the crash impact energy. So the system will start like this. You see the little split here? That is on purpose. That is the distance that this puck is going to travel. The cosmetic components are developed in a way that that little gap is covered up so you don't have any unsightly gaps. The entire piece looks very cosmetically finished, but in the event of a hit, especially head on axis, that internal crumple zone will deform. It'll allow the energy to crush it, and less of that energy is going to travel into your vital components like your frame and your engine. Typically, these things are mounted like on this bike. You have frame going right into the head of the engine. So you want to minimize the amount of energy that actually transfers into there. In our lab tests, using our lab test equipment, load cells, and specific swinging hammers that we developed here for the purpose of these tests, we found up to 60% reduction in transfer of the impact force into the bike. So in practicality, these will never be hit directly on unless a car T-bones you, but you will see a drastic reduction of force entering the bike side of the system through these components in the event of a crash. In summary, there really is no way to guarantee that every possible impact angle and amplitude will be served well by any one component. But I think we covered a very large, broad spectrum of types of impacts that a motorcycle can see and protected it that way against impact via the crumple zone and against a long skid via a nice abrasive surface that will abrade away and try not to catch the surface and try not to flip the motorcycle. So again, there are no guarantees, but we believe in this technology and I think you will like it also. The entire installation is very simple. It requires an 8mm and a 10mm Allen wrench, a socket of 17mm size, a ratchet, and a torque wrench. That's it. It's a very simple, quick procedure. I will go side by side. We're going to start with the left side. Please do not unbolt the engine from both sides. We want to do one side at a time. If you unbolt both sides, you might actually droop the motor and then you'll have the pesky task of trying to realign it in the frame. So that is the precautionary little note I have to make. We also have a build sheet that you can take advantage of. If my video is not adequately specific, you can go by the build sheet and see the order of components that have to be fit on each side. The build sheet also has an identifier 1-to-1 scale graphic here that will enable you to identify each component and correlate it to what we're doing. Here, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use my own methods of identifying things so that you guys can follow along. These pucks come to you built like this. You will get these components out. You have your hardware. So for the left side, the less complicated side, it'll look like half of a bobbin. You have a nice rolled geometry stepping up to accept the puck like this. We will need to fit it with the appropriate sleeve. We have two internal diameter sleeves. The larger one is meant for the larger bolt. You also need the longer bolt here. We have a bolt set. These bolts are for the right side, so we will not talk about those right now. For the large bolt, you will need the large washer. Two washers here, easy to identify. We could stack this like so already. Again, larger diameter sleeve. Pop this in our frame slider puck, superimpose it on the spacer, withdraw the cage for now, reassemble this, and now this is ready for the left side of the motorcycle. Put this pre-assembly aside. Now that we've eliminated all of the hardware that assembles the left side, we're just left with all of the hardware for the right side. That makes it simple. This turned spacer does have a boss raised on one of the faces that will be interfacing with this adapter. This adapter does have a counter bore that this boss fits into. There is a counter bore from the outer area here that will receive the medium bolt of same diameter as the left side. There's no washer to put on here. It just fits like this. And now this is ready to be installed into the frame. All the rest of the components will be installed onto this after this is pre-assembled. We will go through how to pre-configure these. So again, with the cage off, and I'm assuming that this is built. If you've taken it apart, then make sure that the crumple zone is back inside the base component. That doesn't really matter if it goes this way or that way. It just sees axial force on it, so no problem. Get this assembled back like this. Now we have the smaller washer and the smaller diameter fully threaded screw that will go through here. Let's first get our smaller inner diameter sleeve into it. Okay, and now this pre-assembled set will be able to be screwed onto here. Once we have that on the bike, now we have all of our chunks pre-configured. This is going to be a breeze on the bike. I'm going to grab some tools and start ripping into the bike. I'm going to begin this process by the removal of this bolt here. I'm going to use a 17mm socket. This is a little short. I'm going to use an extension on it. This bolt comes out with the washer. The washer is not used. I'm going to place this with the components that I pre-configured on our table. I'm going to switch to a 10mm Allen tool. I'm going to engage the threads first. Before a full bottom out, we want to leave enough adjustability to clock this puck in whatever configuration you want. You can have a Y shape, you can have, whatever direction you want. I prefer a Y on a Yamaha. Looks kind of cool. You can also opt to have this flatter face parallel with this edge. That also looks kind of cool. I am going to go for a Y look here. I do want to switch over from the black to the optional red cage though. So I'm going to remove the outer screw and the anchor. I'm going to install those components back on the red cage that I'm going to be using. I'm going to thread this in partially, then pop it through, make sure that it's not locked. And then I'm going to install it on here. Subsequently, this is ready to install. I'm going to switch over to my torque wrench. 50 foot-pounds is what we're looking for here. Now I'm going to put the cage on, make sure that it's actually bottomed out. I'm going to use the 10mm Allen again to lock it in place. Now you do have a thermoplastic anchor expanding inside. That anchor is receiving a plastic screw through it. So you don't want to stress those components too much. Once everything stops moving, you've achieved enough friction to prevent it from coming off. We're going to leave it there. This side's complete. We're going to hop on the other side and perform that installation. All right, let's pull out this bolt. Same tooling. Again, the bolt and the washer come out and not get reused. We're going to grab the base components, which are this spacer, the adapter, and the bolt that we pre-configured. On this side, we do have this offset that I talked in detail about. There is a relief cut into this locking component. This component locks against the frame tube here and also clocks this entire assembly in the appropriate clocking position. So we'll need to get that around this fairing, and then this relief will need to get locked onto the tube. First, we're gonna insert the spacer. This spacer does have that boss that needs to be facing outboard. The flat chamfered surface goes in. So now the job will be to slide this under the fairing, engage that boss into the counterbore, and then engage the relief on the tube. There's no real particular order we have to do that in. It is easy, no big deal. You get the appropriate bolt in here and start that thread. Use a 10mm Allen to get that thing bottomed out. My torque wrench set to 50 foot-pounds. Going to tighten down all the way. Now, I'll grab the other pre-configured setup, and if you transferred it from another surface to here, make sure that that spacer inside the sleeve is still in there and it's flush. And now this entire assembly will be inserted over this raised boss and screwed into this threaded feature in there. This uses an 8mm Allen. Again, we are going to bottom this out, clock it to your liking, making sure one side matches the other. Now, once I clock it, I will preload it a little bit. That locks it from moving. I want to make a quick note here. If you do crash and these components compress, it's very likely that the outer puck, if it survives the impact, it'll rotate and become loose, and that's fine. You're gonna have to replace these parts anyway, and we do offer replacement sets of just the consumable components. If you had a crash where all of the aluminum and hardware components survived, all you will have to do is buy yourself another one of these sets, screw it all on just like I'm showing now, and you'll be good to go. So now my torque wrench gets outfitted with that 8mm Allen. We're gonna back off to 29.5 foot-pounds of torque. And now I'm gonna transfer my anchor from the standard cage to my optional red one. Make sure that it is inserted all the way, and use the 10mm Allen to complete that locking job. Not enough friction. Need to turn it a little bit more. Okay, that's good. So now this installation is complete. The bike is ready to go. If you like what you see here, check out tstindustries.com. We do have these parts ready to go. We have other parts for this bike and other bikes that you may have in your stable, so check us out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the journey with us. If you have any comments, I always like hearing them from you, so drop them below. Ride safe. I'll see you guys in the next one.